Hey everyone, looks like we are live. We made it to yet another week. A happy Wednesday. I'm so glad to see everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate you. Let's see who we have here today. Some great people. Patty, all the way from Illinois. How's it going? Great to see you. How are painting those miniatures going? I love them. Kyle, how are you today? Great to see you, sir, all the way from the Hershey, Pennsylvania area. Colette, all the way from Atlanta. Wonderful to see you. We have Dwayne, San Luis de Obispo. Thank you so much for hanging out. Mustangs, not banana slugs. We have Dan Maya all the way from Indiana. How cool is that? Great to see you, sir. And we have Mr. Roy all the way from New Jersey. Great to see you. So what a great group of people we have today already before it even started. So that's super exciting. So today we are getting to the very end of this particular painting. And it's totally a photonic realistic painting. There's so many things that are really paying attention to the wavelength progression, worrying more about the light behavior than the object that is absorbing and reflecting light. So it is a breakthrough piece for me, breakthrough piece for the movement, and I'm so excited to share that with you. This will actually be in the book, which is wonderful. So you witnessed it. So yeah, so this is going to be the last illustration in the book, which is going to be great. And I'm looking forward. It may even be on the cover. I don't know. But I'm doubly excited about it. So I hope everyone is having a great Wednesday. I'm going to get my water, make sure my brushes. See, you never want to mix up, because I'm working in oil today on a commission. You never want to mix up your oil supplies with your water supplies. It isn't good. It would be very bad. So let's not do that, partners. And let's see. So what I am going to do, and let's see. Mr. Dwayne with the super chat already. Thank you so much, my friend. I just seen it. I appreciate that so much, sir. Thank you very much. And so, I just think it's great to have you here, our wicked expert. So that is fantastic. What I'm thinking of doing in this painting today is trying to de-emphasize him a little bit. Someone called him Mr. Magoo last week, and Patty thought it was funny. So we're going to work on Mr. Magoo a little bit, and I called him the dude, but if you guys like Mr. Magoo it shall be. So no worries whatsoever. And so that's so cool. And so I appreciate Mr. Dwayne so much. And so, yes, so last week I didn't get to do the bonus live stream only because life got super busy and it just wasn't feasible in the grand scheme of my work days. And then the weekend comes and I'm overloaded with classes on the weekend. So it was a little bit of a harrowing experience, but I'll make it up to you, definitely. There'll be one bonus live stream I owe you guys, so that would be cool. So I don't know if I'll be able to do them until Saturday, but we'll see. We'll see what we can do. Mr. Brad, how's it going? Great to see you, sir, all the way from Manitoba. And someone said, looks like Ebenezer Scrooge. Oh, so now he's Scrooge. He's becoming quite famous already. So I'm going to get my water, not to drink, but to dilute and fix my airbrushes. And I'm going to get your friend and mine, the wet palette. And of course we still have our stencils, which is great. And looks like a subway creeper Kansas. This guy, huh? Yeah, he's kind of hanging out there. Maybe he's just an old guy, just you know, going to work. He could be. He could be. He could be a professor at New York University, and he just came back from a long class. So it could be that too. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and put these magnets there. So what happens is, let me see if I can focus what this does. It's pretty wild. Let's see. Look at this, guys. See what happens? The magnet part breaks, and then it gets weaker because the other pieces are missing. So, oh, Dwayne says he doesn't have subways out there. So they break. So I'm going to get some new. I definitely got to get some new magnets. That's for certain. That's definitely something I'm in need of. So I have my reference, and so let me clean out airbrush number 1. This one, I believe, has my Airbrush India inks in here. You guys are great. So let me get my little airbrush jug where I spray in there so I don't kill the cat. Okay, so I'm just going to clean this out. And you see here I have a paper towel that I've been using for oils, and that would be disastrous because oils and water don't mix. If I clean my brush with that, it happened once in a live stream long ago, and it was not good. Okay, now let's clean this out. As you can see, I just have my paper towel. I'm just going to go in there. And I believe it was the detail mixture, so it's so little, it's really not even going to affect the color, but that's okay. So now what I want to do is kind of gray down him a little bit. So, how do we do that, right? That's the question. So what I'll do is I'll look at him, and then with my color picking method, I'll actually lower the saturation. So how I can do that, let's see. Okay, I have my color, and I'll get my hue, and then we'll do the third part. And then what I'll do is I'll neutralize this color more. Okay, so now I know the ingredients, and let's see if we can neutralize this together, my friends. So I went from working in oils, now I'm going to be working back in airbrush, going back and forth. It's like speaking two different languages. So looking at this color, it's not pure orange. It has some red into it. So I have that right here. I'm ordering more of these cups, these bottles today. So I have my red orange, and then I need the other element here. Is this it? This might be a little too dark. Let's see how it works here. And remember what I always say, you put your least dominant color in first, so when you put your dominant color you can ease into it, right? So this is what I have right now to de-emphasize. Now it needs more energy, so that means I'm going to put more light in there. Let's see what this does. So now I'm infusing some more energy in there, right? So we have the color, but we want to change the energy, right? The wavelength's going to maintain the same, but the energy, which is different. Okay, so we have the airbrush, we have this color. Let's make it happen. See, we have a nice kind of gray down, desaturated flesh tone. And we're always going to test out our paint and our airbrush. Okay, we seem to be operational. All right, so here goes. Let me pull up my image here. Okay, so we're working on this guy back here. So just kind of de-emphasizing him a little bit. And then we'll lower his hair a little bit. Kind of mix the flesh tone in with the hair. So basically all I'm doing is lowering the contrast of him, so he kind of is being pushed back. And let's see what I missed. And hey Colette, how's it going? Great to see you. Yes, I did say hi to Colette earlier. So what's new, Colette? Tell me, how's life treating you? And now I have this little gray in there. So I think I'm going to try and mix that gray on my wet palette. It's still wet. Okay. Now, it might be too light, might be too dark, but we'll live with it. Let's see, this is like a long brush here. This may be too light. Oh, it doesn't look bad. Okay, so I think we're in good shape. Let me get my glasses. No Subway? How do you ever eat fresh? That's funny. Let's see right here. Yeah, Subway's really good. When you're hungry, they're fantastic. So I have my wet palette here, and I'm just going to kind of clean up the edges. See that? Push back our professor. He is an art professor, and he works at NYU. He teaches at NYU, and he teaches art history. That's my story. That's my story, Peter Lorre. There we go. So now, you know, this dude is kind of hanging out back there. It's a little blotchy back here. So when is a painting done? So let's hear from the audience. When do you all think a painting is done? And funny jokes is also welcome. Does he have an iPhone too? No, he actually gets his emails from his laptop. He's one of those guys who basically, you know, is still in the 1980s. Or maybe 1990s. A painting is never done, only abandoned. Very, very cool. I like that. It's done when Tim says it's done. I like that even more. That's true. Both. Both are true. Now it's a little bit lighter. I'm going to add some. So I guess I want to add some variety back there. So I have my reference over here. So it's important that you have variety. Boy. I think I'm going to utilize a larger brush here. Once again, when you're using anything with like wicked paint on a paintbrush, if you want to keep that paintbrush longer than 8 hours, you rinse that out really good immediately after using. And I'm just going to kind of soften up the edges of our guy so he becomes even more deeply part of the background. Is she on the phone with Bob Marley since Scrooge is back there? That's Jacob Marley, I believe. Bob Marley would be cool as well, right? This is a fun part. This is just like playing around and, you know, seeing what works, what doesn't, going from there. Let's infuse some light right here. I'm going to take some water. Oh, that was good. Very good. Right here we have a perspective issue. Let's fix that. So I think we're going to go with pure white. Let's make white happen. Let's see. I think the white is a little thin. But that looks a little better already. So here's my plan, everybody, which is really exciting, is I am going to be incorporating heavy body acrylics on top of and underneath my airbrush painting. So using a heavy amount of brush techniques along with airbrush techniques. So I may incorporate some impasto perhaps, which would be very excellent, stuff like that. So be on the lookout for that. There's just not enough experimentation in airbrush. It's a very play it safe kind of medium, but for me, I need to experiment and kind of take it to that next level. So that's something that I think I bring to the table, to the airbrush world. We all bring something different to the table. But for me is, you know what, I came into airbrush very late in life, and so I don't have any rules when it comes to airbrushing, right? I'm not old school, I'm not new school, I'm just, you know, an artist who knew how to paint before I got here. And now it's just, you know, kind of painting without any irreverence. And that's good when you go into a medium, right? You're not worrying about the status quo. You're not worrying about how it was done before. You have no limitations. You know, no one has any limitations, but when you come in fresh, you know, you're looking at it from a different perspective. Let's infuse some light color here. Whoop. And what that does, it helps give more atmosphere and brings her forward more. She's the star of the show, so painting is never done, Roy says. Very true. It's all true, right? Okay, here we go. I'm going to bring this light up here because I definitely want high contrast. So here I'm basically creating contrast where I want your eye to go, which is to her. I want your eye to go to her, right? So we're just bringing that contrast down a little bit. I think I'm going to bring this light all the way up. And then I can smooth this out later. There's Liz. How are you all the way from Staten Island? So great to see you. How are you? Liz and I were doing gesture drawings in class, and that was just like so much fun. Took me back to my art school days. Ah, very cool. And thank you, Liz, for the wonderful comment. What I plan on doing is coming in with that very color. And now I'm basically painting a picture, you know. Homework, yes, Liz, exactly. You found a gesture drawing app, so I've been doing them. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, that's Jean-Auguste Dominique Ingres, 19th century French neoclassical painter, said, and I quote, "Drawing is the probity of art. That a good painting is 85% drawing." Do you all believe that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this as smooth as I can. Then I'm going to cover our young lady up. And then I'm going to airbrush it smooth. Let's see, just bring this down. More separation of, you know, the turning of the train, so to speak. At this point, if you make a mistake, you can just rub it with your finger. Only because there's so many layers of paint on this, you can do that. Don't try that in the early going. Don't try that when you're working on paper. And of course we're working on metal. Just kind of making our guy disappear even more into the background. Our art history professor from NYU, and he's an adjunct professor. It's cold, so you know he's bundled up. He has his gloves. Mr. Gary, how's it going? Great to see you. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much from the Hershey, Pennsylvania area. Wonderful video of those flames. Really love it. I was saying I love how it goes from yellow to yellow orange to red orange to red, following the visible spectrum. Really amazing. Liz says she got her crown back. Yes, she's #1. So cool. So at this stage, you know, you're doing your painting, right? And basically you're looking and you're kind of doing a little bit of experimentation, nothing huge, nothing out of the ordinary, just kind of having fun. Well, you're always having fun. Well, you try to, right? The slow motion is extremely cool, sir. Thank you for sharing that. Now, could we use that if we wanted to, sir, if we downloaded that? Like, use a still from one of them in a video? Because they are a real pro. Ah, thanks, Gary. See, Gary is like really amazing, you know, to the airbrush community. It's so cool that you're part of it, sir. See, right here I want to infuse some energy. See, I don't say, you know, oh, I want to make it lighter. I'll say I want more energy there. I love working with big brushes. And you could use the side of that brush and bring that down to make a straight line, or an incredible facsimile of one. Whoop, he has a fly on his head. There was a fly on his head, guys. That wasn't good. Alright. Yeah, I want to definitely work at this, work on the young lady. But right now we got different fish to fry. See how I'm making it lighter, more energy, as it's closer to this light, so it's getting more energy as it's closer to the light, and then it gets less energy as it moves away from the light. You get more coverage with a roller. That would be cool. And we'll just rub that with my finger. Okay, so you see how, we're creating an atmosphere, we're creating air, right? Is this, your crown got demoted, you have to like almost spam messages, like just say hello, 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 hello. I won't do anything, but I think if you do that, the bots on YouTube will actually give you a timeout. I don't know. You're number 2. Let's see. Still number 2. Gary's number 1 right now. So, I'm going to take airbrush number 2 right here. What's interesting about airbrush number 2, there's a lot of interesting things, but it has white in it. So, I was working on my project with Mr. Roy, and we were working on this portrait on tinted paper with white pastel and India ink. Not white pastel, but True Glass 50/50 illustration white. Not working. Oh man, Gary says, catch me if you can, Liz. Yeah, it looks like Gary has the inside track at the moment. So I want to make sure I get this white out. Not to be mistaken for white out. Let me see here. Liz with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So we already have two super chats, which is absolutely amazing. Thank you, partners. So for the next painting, do you guys want to see another painting in color with the airbrush and India ink technique, or do you want to see a painting in black and white using Tim's airbrush India inks, or do you want to see a painting in color like this one? It's the ball's in your court, everybody. And thank you so much, Liz, for that super chat. That is so very appreciated. I appreciate you and your friendship and the chance to work with you. Ooh, Liz says black and white. So we have one black and white. Let's see. I'm going to do a poll. Yes, we'll do a poll. Let's see. Start a poll. Ask a question. Do you want my next painting to be in color or black and white? Yes. Equals color. No equals black and white. Okay, so there it is. So do you want my next painting to be in color or black and white? Yes is color, no is black and white. And let's see how the poll goes. So we have 100% in black and white, 67% in... So we have, looks like 2 to 1 right now for black and white and color. And look at that go. So that's cool. So remember, you know, how it goes is that yes is color and no is black and white. Very, very cool. JC, how's it going? Great to see you. How's everything? Oh, so Gary says the color paintings are a little more interesting to him. Thank you for sharing that, sir. Looking great. De colores. Okay, so we got another. Make sure you vote there, sir. Very important, JC. And Liz says she likes color better, but she feels variety is the spice of life. JC, all the way from the Atlanta area, great to see you. Okay, so now I need to wipe out what's in here and clean out, make sure I don't get anything in the nozzle. In the nozzle's not good. Ooh. Just waiting for this to empty out, guys. Alright, so here goes. We're going to put this lighter color in here. And let's see how this goes. It's a little thick, so I'm going to add just a tiny bit of agua. Un poquito de agua. Whoa, I forgot to put my needle in. Not smart. 60% black and white. Look at that. So very cool. Let's see what it looks like here. Alright, so let's take a look. Make sure we got this covered here. And I'm just kind of smoothing this out, guys. And I just hear, hey JC, JC won't smile at me. Hosanna, Hosanna. Gary She says maybe half black and white, half color. That is interesting, yes. I kind of like that idea, Mr. Gary. I will keep that under advisement. See how I established it first in the with the brush, and then it's so much easier to kind of finish it up and smooth it out with the airbrush. I kind of like that. Very cool, yes. So let's see what our poll looks like. 40% color, 60% black and white, 50-50, now 60-50-50. Wow, look at that. That's really coming together, and that's, you know, let's hear it. Everyone can vote, even if you're not, you know, saying anything, you know, in the chat. You're welcome to vote. Hey there, Patrick. How's it going? Great to see you, Cheese Grits and NyQuil. How you been, my friend? Oh, wow. Thank you so much, my friend. Cheese Grits and NyQuil. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much for your friendship, and thank you so much for your support, sir. Very cool. That puts us at 3 super chats today. That means I'll owe you another bonus live stream, which is great. So we got one from Patrick, one from Liz, one from Mr. Dwayne. So we're doing good already, everybody. Thank you so much. So this is the first. So we're at 50-50 for color and black and white. How cool is that? So as you can see, as I'm coming up here, I'm just making it a little kind of foggy. And maybe I'll do that next to her hair as well. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, I like that. I like that it's foggy. So half black and white and half color. It looks like that's what it's going to be. That would be a cool challenge, I think. It may just happen, my friend. I'll be percolating that thought over the weekend, because next week is probably going to be the next idea. Black and white with colored eyeballs. Or we can do a black and white a color figure in a black and white atmosphere. I'm going to kind of soften up some of this color here. Kind of with entropy, you know, I'm actually getting rid of the color or de-emphasizing it. What does this do? It accentuates the color that's in her and brings her forward, which is, you know, really a lot of fun, and kind of comes in with my focus to Photonic Realism. Okay. All right, let's see what we have here. And then what I'm going to do with the last half, because we're at the first half of the painting, so the last half is going to be all about her. And so now I'm just not worried about everything being so neat. I'm just kind of creating atmosphere, softening areas up. Especially his jacket, kind of really make him be part of that atmosphere. Cheese Grits and Nyquil says, "Holy blank Tim, you're jacked. You look like a Greco-Roman wrestler." I don't know about that, my friend. I need to get into the gym. I was looking at gym memberships today, you know, so that's something I'm thinking of, but thank you, sir. But I did lose some weight. I am walking 3 miles a day, right? Which is cool. And let's see. The little crowns, I'm not sure. Oh wow, look at that. You guys are all fighting for crown supremacy. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and use the bathroom. Take care. Laughing out loud, Gary's going to close it up now. So 57% black and white. Wow, that's really getting good. I'll be right back, guys. Talk amongst yourselves. And it's good to see everyone. Thank you for not leaving. I appreciate that. Let's see. Oh, look at that. So if you send money, you get points. Oh, that's funny. Okay, cool. Uh, Look at that. That's funny. Ah, very cool, JC. Glad you're here. Patrick says something about a checkbook. So here we are right now, and I think we're looking pretty good. So let's see. It's nice and foggy in the background. I may come and sharpen things up a little bit over here. I really like the idea of sending him in the background, which was, really my key thing. Lowering the intensity of this orange here was important to me. So that was good. And I am fresh out of water. So if you see, my hands may be a little bit on the yellow side because I juiced turmeric today. And turmeric is really, really staining, Hey, Gary, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. I appreciate that. I really appreciate, your friendship and your support, sir, and your great ideas, and definitely the reference that you made with the slow motion flames, some of the best flames I've seen yet, So everyone says Gary gave a super chat and he went down in the ratings. That can't be good. We got to fix that, That's for sure. That's hilarious. You guys are really funny. So that puts us at 4 super chats. So that means I owe you another bonus live stream, which I owe you one now, and then another one coming up. So thank you for that, everybody. You guys are great. And so thank you once again, Gary, for your kindness. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Okay, so now we're looking at this. Let's see, where can we work? I think we can start working. I want to clean up her face just right here. I want to clean that up. I'm going to come in with some orange right over here. So a very light orange. So I'm going to go ahead and mix that with my system, which is really cool. And so Dwayne's number 2, Colette's number 1. I don't know what's going on with this crown system. It's kind of haphazard, right? Yes, and Dwayne wants to know if it's, just, cloudy or smoke. Hopefully it's not smoke, right? That would be good. We don't want smoke. So I have this right here, this light gray. So what if we get rid of the light gray? What happens if we do that? So I'll go ahead and get rid of that color in the airbrush. Okay, there's little chunky bits of paint in there, so I'm going to get a Q-tip here. Get up some of this kind of thick paint that's kind of sitting in there. So I'm using the illustration colors a little bit, but I'm really leaning more and more towards Wicked. So even the illustration that I have to augment my colors, I'll be definitely phasing them out in my work. So I'll be using less and less illustration colors. It just doesn't work for my flow and what I want to do and have the versatility. So I want to have no illustration. I don't want to be working with illustrations at all, nor will I teach it. So that's going to be pretty much, the whole thing. It's going to be Wicked or Wicked illustration, and that's it. I'll use the Wicked opaque. Yes, I did, my friend. And it basically, JC, what it was there was some dried paint in the nozzle. It didn't come out until I put Airbrush Restorer and soaked it. Thank you, JC. Mr. Patrick says thumbs up for Tim. I appreciate that so much, sir. Thank you. Okay, so I have this airbrush cleaned out. And I'm pretty happy with it. I'll put my needle back in before I clean it. And I'll shoot some water through it. It feels like this particular nozzle feels like it's still battling some little things in the nozzle. So I'll give it another bath in the Airbrush Restorer 4008. But I think I'm getting rid of it pretty nicely here. But when you put that needle in it, you feel it's a little spongy. That's never good. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and mix that color. And oh, Cheese Grits and NyQuil says, Tim, what's the 1980s Coke Tudor Bullet? This is actually a Badger needle nozzle cover. It's really funny. Yeah, but that's what that is. I got another one here. You see, and I put, and I make the Extreme Patriot arrows, the custom. So I have a lot of these things hanging around. It's not a Coke Tudor. No, it's definitely a drug-free studio, my friend. Definitely. Let's see. So now I'm going to mix that color. Let's see. But that is very funny, Patrick. So I'm mixing just a little bit of an orangey color. Just kind of even that out a little bit. There we go. All right, let's make this happen, everybody. It's kind of an intense color, but again, it's a red-orange. And see how to mix this. Okay. All right, so now let's go ahead and make this. It's going to be a little, JC says you can also use Miracle Juice to keep airbrushes on point. Very cool. Now, what is Miracle Juice, sir? And Kyle, how's it going? Great to see you all the way from, well, Kyle, you were here already, so I saw you earlier, but Kyle's just saying hi to his dad. That's what it is. Okay. So we have both father and son here, and that's amazing. So let's go ahead and make this happen. So I need red-orange. I know it was here just a second ago. Here we go. This is my red-orange. So I pre-mix my Wicked colors with the 4021. Not only that, I also only pre-mix everything to match the colors in the color wheel. There's no burnt sienna or anything like that in the studio here. I don't use them. Very rarely, right? Very rarely. I use Graco Groat Seal Liquid. They sell at Home Depot or Sherwin-Williams. Use it for airless sprayer, works on water solvent stuff, pumps, prevents paint from sticking on the pumps. That's great. I gotta look for that. Once I get some funds, that's what I'm gonna do. That's for sure. That's amazing, sir. Thank you for sharing that. Definitely. So we have a light gray. JC, it won't fisheye your paints. That's fantastic. Red orange or orange? I like orange. That could be, you know what? I'm going to coin that phrase. Orange. That's actually pretty cool, my friend. And I think we're going to come in a little bit more. It's a nice light desaturated orange made with orange. How in the heck did Kyle squeak all the way into the top 3 with a single howdy? Look at that. Now Dwayne's number 1. I know what you're talking about, JC. I've used Throat Seal before. Yes, we got to talk more about that because that sounds like something that interests me. Well, it is something that interests me. Let's see what we have, my friends. You know, you really can't see it on gray. So let's bring this over and take a look. Look how beautiful. You know, my color mixing method, which just happened as I was studying light, and it really is wonderful. And, you know, I am going to bring it to light because Teachables charged me $89 a month for my teaching platform. So I am definitely motivated to get that course out there. Let's see. Go back here. Okay, now. See, the light's coming from over here, so this side of the face has to be darker. Now right over here, looks like we have a little bit of a shift here. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that. I think that had to do with that definitely had to do with the erasing that I did earlier. That's why I don't like erasing at all. Very cool. Okay, so I'm going to take some of my white and I'm going to add just a tiny bit of orange here. Now regular orange right here. We're going to see how this goes. Every painting has one of these moments. Now this may be a little bit too much on the orange, so I'm going to add some white to it. And then I'm going to put this through the airbrush. We're going to get rid of the color that we have now. Now I want to get rid of that, so I'm just going to run some water through it. Wayne says if you rub a little bit on your needle, airbrush needle, then let it dry, it works great for tip dry. Very cool. These are some great tips today. Thank you, everybody. Okay, here we go. Here goes nothing, honey. Used to love those commercials for Nut and Honey cereal. Okay. Ooh, it's a little watery, so I gotta lower that. Okay, so that's acceptable. And now we'll come back in with a little more white, which would be good. So there might be a little too much orange in this. Let's see. Well, so now, since I am working with I'm working on the aluminum, I gotta be a little more patient. So now I'm going to, it's blue shifting just a little bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let that dry, but I'm going to add a little more orange to it because it's just a little bit of a blue shift. So we'll add just a tiny bit of orange to it, and we'll see how this goes. Let's see, here we go. Just a little bit, and let's keep our fingers crossed. Okay, so we're getting rid of the blue shift. And now we're going to come in with the orange, right? So let's bring her over here so I can see what I'm working with. So this is like the daring cleanup, right? You have to be daring. You don't have to be daring. But if we want that next step, you know, of realism, we're going to make those calculated risks. So working on metal, it's not the same if you were working on, let's say, you know, paper or wood panel, so you don't have as much absorption. So now we're getting into this area where we're making it more as a painting. So this may bring another week to the painting or what have you, but that doesn't matter. You know, how long the painting takes means nothing. It just whatever the painting needs, and that's what you give it. So that's cool, the Graco Miracle Juice, and so that's fantastic. Very cool. Mr. Patrick's giving everyone the fisheye. So we are at 50-50 with the black and white or color. So that's interesting. Let me put a little bit more over here. So one of the things I want to talk about with you all is, what do you think of a artist having to work full time to pay for their craft? Do you think that that's something that shouldn't be, or do you think that's something that basically every artist has to do, is go out there and make a living somewhere else, or augment their living doing something else like a regular job? What do you all feel about that? So I'd love to hear what you think. What do you envision the life of an artist or a painter, right? One person told me that you can't be a real artist unless you're doing it full time. So what I'm doing is trying to get rid of this little white speck right there. That's not happening. Once your established mats should pay for themselves one way or another. Interesting. Now, what do you mean by established mats, sir? So that is sticking there. So we're going to figure out, maybe while we have this, is just kind of paint around it. And then we'll come and we'll put color there. Cheese Grit says, Tim, I would be what we call unestablished as an artist. Okay, so unestablished as an artist, yes. And I think we all in this room are pretty much unestablished painters. So we got to do what we got to do to pay the bills, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Plus, honestly, I think if we do other things, it's Franz, how's it going? Franz says he struggles to get painting in between regular work schedule. Yes, and those are things that I think a modern day painter really faces. So you see, I'm getting rid of, the areas that had the errors on it. So I I worked most of my life while being a full-time artist, and I think it's important to know we live in the real world, right? In the real world, we have bills, but we do try to find something that is interesting, right? In our part-time jobs or full-time jobs that are outside our art. And if we're lucky, we find something that, how do we say, we find something that is, supports our art, both intellectually and financially. Uh, Cheese Grits Niceville says, so therefore my mats are my expense, but if I were making commissions, then his supplies should somehow be part of the income. Very cool. And Dwayne says, DAM Airbrush is his business, and my tagline is, I'll paint damn near anything or damn near everything. I like that. That's so cool. So you see, making the mistake actually helped me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep that orange and white mixture in there, right? We need that. But here, dun dun dun, I have the orange, remember? But remember also is that we want to do the wavelength progression. So we can't just go straight into this orange. What we have to do is do the yellow first. Just like that video that Mr. The video of Mr. Gary did of the fire. And the way that the fire went was where it was more energy, it was yellow. And as the energy went, the energy entropied, it actually went from yellow to yellow orange to orange to red orange to red. And the same thing, there's more energy in the yellow, and that's why you see that. And as the flame kind of went from the center, it did that. And that's exactly what happens with the visible spectrum. You're seeing that because of the energy. So that's really wild. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put your friend and mine in my airbrush. And who is that? Our friend Raw Sienna. One of the few regular colors that I use. Meaning not part of the color wheel. I only put a tiny bit in there. And let's put a little bit of your friend, 4021, your friend and mine. Mix that up. We want it to be nice and light. Let's see what we have here. Beautiful. So we have this very faint transparent yellow because part of the visible spectrum. So remember, we have to worry about working on aluminum. Aluminum is wonderful with the 6000, it's great, but it will kick your butt if you let it. So you have to make sure that you spray, let the whatever you have there catch up, and then spray again. Just make sure that something's coming out. Okay. See how I'm infusing life into her because I'm following the wavelength progression. When you're doing photonic realism, you can paint more truth because you're not worried about how it looks, but you're worrying about how the light is reacting correctly to her form. I may have to come and darken that, no big deal. So if it's going from orange, it has to go to yellow, orange to yellow. It has to, unless there's something strange going on, you know, something weird, you know, whether it's a reflected light or a second light source or something out of the ordinary causing that. Gary says, just like any job, if you work hard and once you get good at it, you can grow and advance. But until it is, you struggle. Yeah, and it's struggle. And you know what they say, you know, I look at it this way. If I want an arts grant, I better go get that arts grant myself. So, you know, going out and working a job, or, you know, another job to support my art and keep my business going, that's what I'm going to do, you know. And, you know, having a second job, which I had most of my life, it actually takes a lot of the pressure off of it, and it really helps me to clear my mind and do better work. So you see how the yellow is actually working really well. Now right here, looks like for some reason, just like from when we went down this road, it looks like we might have a little bit of a shift here. So just with my orange mixture, I'm able to kind of fix that. So it's always good to have that orange mixture. You know, you don't want to have your painting to be a 100% transparent. It doesn't work. So you're going to have to eventually come in with the opaques and work with that. Mr. Bill, how are you? Great to see you, sir, all the way from New Jersey. How are you? Dwayne said it took him a long time and long hours to get to the point of making a living at art. That's cool. Yes, definitely. Honestly, I'm not sure if I want to... Okay, so here's another thing. I'm a full-time artist, right? But I also am unmarried, don't have a girl, and it gets really lonely, you know? So having a second part-time job actually helps in the long run, because, you know, I'm a social creature and I need to see people. And I don't really see people as a full-time artist. So, no, as of only full-time. I'm always a full-time artist. I always do more than 40 hours a week. But when I had another job, it kind of fulfilled that social aspect of me. Dwayne says, same boat here. Yes. And Cheese Grits and NyQuil says, took him a long time and a lot of drinking to get to the top of Belly Dancing Arena. Well, you know, I'm really looking forward to your YouTube channel on belly dancing, so that would be really cool. So, yes, Bill, how's everything going, my friend? That's really funny, sir. Reminds me of Chris Farley when he was the Chip and Dale dancer with Patrick Swayze. That was really good. That was one of my favorites. JC says that you can borrow his belly. My belly's going away, I think, so that's good. So you gotta have that orange mixture, right? So you can, the orange and white mixture, so you can go in and just kind of fix things. What it also does it kind of creates more air into your work. Like right here, it's just a little too strongly orange. What if I infuse a little bit of that in there just to kind of give it a little bit of life? Just a tad bit. So at first it looked like, oh my God, we're in big trouble. But as long as you keep your head about you, you're going to be okay, right? As long as you do that, you're going to be fine. Looking really good, Tim. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that, Mr. Bill. Gary says, well, gotta run, folks. Been fun as always. Thanks, Tim, and safe all. Mr. Gary, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. I appreciate you. I hope you have a great rest of the week and a great weekend coming up. And so, always a pleasure, and always thanks for hanging out. And Mr. Franz, it's great to see you all the way from South Africa. Thank you so much for hanging out, my friend. So I'm going to have to come back in with her eyes. That's okay. That's okay. Now, we'll come back in with your friend in mind, Raw Sienna. Why do I like Raw Sienna so much? Because it's neutralizing. Yet it infuses color at the same time, which is nice, right? JC, have a good night, my friend. Take care. JC says, hate to leave, but always remember, airbrushing gets tough. There's always miracle juice. That's great. Take care, Mr. JC. Sergio, thank you so much. Take care, my friend. You are the best. Always great to hear from you, Mr. Sergio. The summer's coming, so you're going to be doing a lot of fishing this year, I bet. So that's great. Colette's Cheese Grit says to Colette, do not dream about the belly dancing. Color is squeaking ahead. Very cool. So, you see, I'm not worried. Don't be worried about more work. Be worried about getting it right. Wait a second. This is... No, that's Mr. Raw Sienna. Here's our orange and white mixture. So here in the hand, it's a little opaque. So I'm just going to infuse some energy in there. Infuse energy. So tomorrow I start my new job, and I can't say what it is, but I'm excited, and so that's really cool. Cheese Grits and NyQuil says, Raw Sienna, I thought you were going to say Mr. Rourke. I was on Fantasy Island for a moment. You know, I used to watch that show all the time when I was a kid. It was part of my Saturday lineup. It was T.J. Hooker with William Shatner, and somebody else was on there. T.J. Hooker. Then came The Love Boat. And then after The Love Boat with Gavin MacLeod. And then after The Love Boat came Fantasy Island with Hervé Villachez and Ricardo Montalban. Yes, so The Love Boat was between 9 and 10. That was my jam. And I was a wild and crazy teenager, so that was my teenage years. I was a nerd. I just wanted to paint and study. I had my part-time job after school, and that was it. Ready and waiting for you, The Love Boat. So now we're going to come in with the orange and then, but I think that we can kind of fix up this. It's a little blotchy. We can de-blotch it. I really enjoy this stage of the painting because that's when she really starts to come to life. Okay, come back in with more sienna. Cheese Grits and NyQuil says, if we made a TV show about hooking up on a cruise ship, it would be a reality series again, or a new gen would cancel the crap out of it. Yeah, it was kind of innocent, right? But there were some things on it that were kind of like inappropriate at that time, but their appropriateness was different than ours. So in the hand, I'm infusing some of the yellow wavelengths. That's where the most energy is, next to the, the white light. Just making the face roll a little bit. Dwayne says, I need to order a needle and nozzle for my Extreme Patriot Arrow. It's been out of commission for a month or so. Oh man, I can definitely, I would go on USAAirbrushsupply.com, sir, and use this code because I don't have the parts for, for a while. Timothy PSA, you do that at checkout at USAAirbrushsupply.com. And that gives you 15% off. So Cheese Grits and NyQuil says he's about to ship his original 105 Patriot back to get it refurbished. Interesting. Definitely. So yeah, Timothy PSA, that will give you 15%. And the airbrush website is www.usaairbrushsupply.com. And remember, 15% off. And I think they're having some, if it might be over, but they were having this like massive sale, I believe the part number you would want would be 40. I will get that for you by tomorrow night because tonight I have to work tomorrow, so I won't be back in the studio till after maybe 9. 8 o'clock. I should be back in the studio tomorrow. Cheese Grits Nyquil says, do you custom out old school 105s too, Tim, or just the, yeah, just the arrows, the Extreme Patriot arrow and the Extreme Patriot 105, just those two at the moment. But right now I don't have any parts, so that's all kind of shut down right now. Hopefully I get some more parts, but right now it doesn't look good. Yeah, it really is. You know, the way that, you know, with the Extreme Patriot arrows and, you know, how I set it up and everything, it's just a wonderful detail brush. And as you see, I don't use anything else, not because it's any kind of sales pitch or anything. It's just, to me, it's the best thing out there. So now I'm going with my orange, and I'm going to mix some of the orange. I'm going straight wavelength here, and I'm going to mix some of my raw sienna in there. So what happens is these little bottles that I make, they get a little clogged. So I just take an old needle like so, and then I just kind of unclog it, and then it comes out. Oh yes, so definitely, you know, it's the needle and nozzle. So we'll work on that together, definitely, Mr. Dwayne. So now I'm mixing these two together, and I'm going to dilute the heck out of it using your friend and mine 4021. So I'm using the wavelength progression. And which airbrush are we going to use? Oh, the one that's empty. Okay. So we'll just put this in here. We'll see how it goes. It may not work, and that's okay. See that? Just slightly more orange. So just like with any energy, like, so when you have a cup of tea and you put that cup of tea and you sit it on your table, it doesn't go cold right away. It doesn't get to room temperature right away. It takes time. And the same thing with shadows. It takes time. So that's when you want to compress your values. And Mr. Dwayne says, I have so many airbrushes, I never remember what part numbers, and no problem. That's the way I am too. But I don't have that many airbrushes that I use anymore. I basically use my Extreme Patriots. So now I'm just following the wavelength progression, and I'm also making sure I'm making things turn small. Slowly, right? Not small. And now I'm actually going to go even more orange and kind of bring that in. Now this is my raw sienna. So this airbrush is going to become my my orange and white mixture. Oh, you can't find your notebook since moving. How long ago did you move, sir? Moving never is good. Well, it is good sometimes, but it sucks. Okay, so now we're ready for some orange and white mixture. Put that in here. And that's going to use that to kind of smooth things out over here. Make sure we're good. Okay. Oh, about a year ago. Okay, that was a little bit. See how I'm slowly lowering the amount of energy transitioning from the low energy to the high energy. I don't think like other artists think. I think the way light behaves. I don't think about, a binary light and shade. Now you can see she's starting to be much more realistic. Yes, it is. It is the 41044. That is exactly it. Thanks for that, Patrick. See how I'm I am slowing down the high energy to the lower energy transition, or entropy. But you see how this side is slightly darker than this side. It has to be because the light is hitting her from here and it's slightly less here, so that means that this has to be, by definition, has to be darker. But then I have license to make this lighter. And oh, look at that. And that's the whole setup and ordered. Great. So that's fantastic, Mr. Dwayne. Oh, I thought Patrick was saying that. Sorry. Patrick, you're the best anyway. Well, you're the best. We're all the best. Dwayne's the best. I'm the best. And then you might say, how can we all be the best? Well, in my book, we are. Well, who cares about your book, Tim? That's okay. I am actually writing a book. Oh man! As far as I don't even see a crown next to your name, Mr. Patrick. But it looks like Dwayne's number one. So you see, as I'm building up the energy here, I hope you can, that I'm building up the energy and dissipating the energy over here. Oh no, cheese grits, there you are. You got your crown back. You're number 2. Look at that. You're making moves, sir. So yes is color. So it looks like it's going to be color, my friends. Let's see. So yes equals color. Wow, look at that. It went to 69% color to 31% black and white. I really thought black and white had a chance. Now, if we get this done, we're going to work on the next painting, but the next painting is definitely going to be in color. The public has spoken. The community has spoken. But I do like the face. I think the face has a lot more life to her, and that's important. I think black and white with hints of washed color. Yeah, I don't think that has a chance right now, sir. Maybe as a personal project. Okay, here comes the more orange color. So you see how it dissipates from where the light's hitting it much more directly, and it dissipates from white to light yellow to yellow to yellow orange to red, orange to red orange. See how that happens? And you know, it really demystifies. You know, if I'm teaching someone, I'm not like, you'll understand it one day, young grasshopper. No. Whoop. Gets too wet, you just wipe it at this point. I can explain to the student what is happening, so they will see this for themselves. So I can come back in with that white right here at the bridge of the nose. Oh, Dwayne says he does that style all the time and he's interested on my take of it. Thank you, Dwayne. I appreciate that. Yes, you know, when we understand what light is doing, we can embrace it and paint it, but only until we understand it. And so we have our orange, our yellow orange now. See how we're able to sculpt the light now because we're painting with light. So when we can anticipate the light, there's no more secrets, right? It's just we are anticipating it. So when we do see that yellow, unless there's a reflected light or a shirt or something or a second light source, then that's different. But that's why we control our lighting. So it's 11:28. And so you see how I went ahead and as I was painting, I wasn't worrying about creating a blue shift over here. I can come right back with the hair. But it's important that I paint and not do any stencils at this point because I want that unification, right? I want her to feel like she's not cut out from her hair, right? It's so important. Cheesewood says he's got to run, shower, in bed. Work comes early. I was supposed to have downtime, but I only have 5 or 6 days off since only have had 5 or 6 days off since February. Oh my God. Make sure you don't work too hard, my friend. I want you here. Make sure you're exercising, doing everything. Oh man, look at that. 71% color. Wow, color really did it, right? Look at that. People love their color, so it's going to be color next time. Thank you, everybody. So you see how I compress those values, right? Compress those value changes. And I think it translates to a much more realistic image. Take care, Mr. Patrick. Always a pleasure. That puts us at the 11:30 hour. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you for the super chats. So it looks like we're ending the poll at 71% color. Yes. So that is cool. Thank you so much. 14 votes. So thank you, everybody, for participating. I really appreciate yous. I didn't reach the 5 super chats. Let's see. I don't think I did. So I still owe you 1 from last week. So let's see what we have. Gary, 1. 1 from Gary. 1 from Patrick. And it's not giving me any more. Okay, I think I might have had 5. We'll double check. Everyone, oh no, let me see. No, it doesn't say how many, but we'll figure it out. Everyone, have a great night. Got to get up early tomorrow. Take care, everybody. You all are amazing. I hope to speak to you soon. And thank you, everybody, for spending your Wednesday with me. I really appreciate it. It means the world. And I'm looking forward to the next painting that we do in color because that was the vote. So take care, everyone.